tee-riffic.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Tee-riffic Talks. I'm your host Bultum, and I'm so excited that you're here today. Today we have a very special guest. We have Rockin with Dan today. Dan, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
How are you doing during quarantine?
Trying not to lose my mind. That's as much as I can say. Honestly, just trying to lose my mind. How about you?
Right now I'm mostly trying to stay calm, not trying to get bored. Trying to be positive about it.
I think that is the biggest key I think we all need to do right now is be positive. Think about the positives. And, I've used this time to reassess things and relax, take time to relax and enjoy things more and not take so many things for granted that you don't think about.
Right. And what better way for a positive character is Barney.
I definitely agree, and I think that's something the world definitely needs right now.
And speaking of Barney, how did you find Barney?
Oh my gosh. I remember I don't remember the exact first moment I remember watching Barney, but I do remember as I was maybe 2 or 3. They told me when I was 1 they would have Barney videos playing, but when I was 2 or 3 I can remember watching Imagination Island. That was the first video I remember watching. And I thought it was just so cool that they had the ship was stuck in, for some reason I thought it was so cool that the ship was stuck in the trees and stuff, and how they got down and they had to put the balloons. It was just so cool.
Yeah, they did a good job on that video.
Really did, definitely did. That was the first video I remember, but they told me before that the Backyard Gang and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And you actually saw Barney at Universal. What was that like?
Yeah, well, I actually lived in Orlando, so I actually saw Barney numerous times here at Universal, and I'm not saying, I'm trying to say this. I'm on a Barney podcast, but I'm saying I generally think that's one of my favorite Universal attractions because it's positive, it's wonderful, the reaction that you get to see from people. It's just fantastic, and I was there on the final show for temporary closure, and it was definitely an experience to be there for that.
Yeah, I've seen the video. The audience reaction when Barney came up was amazing.
Oh, it was nuts. Mm-hmm. I was there every show. They did 5 shows that day. I did all 5 shows.
5 shows?
All 5. I went to all 5. I was there at 9:45 in the morning till 4 something. By the time I think the last show was at 3:45, if I remember correctly. I don't know about that, but yeah, I was there. I went to all, because I was gonna film it for my YouTube channel. Then I was I don't want to film individual. They had to piece it all together. So I was I'm just gonna do the final one for temporary closure, and just do that straight through. I think that'd be more special because there's all these theme park vloggers here in Florida. Nobody was covering that nobody was covering these closing attractions. I said, well, I'm gonna be the first one, and that's been doing crazy views on the channel and all that stuff. So yeah.
It definitely
and they're still over there over Universal still, which is awesome.
Yeah. And currently Barney's doing some meet and greets there.
Yeah. They have a little stage, and they come out at different times, and they play the audio during the show, from the show out in Woody Woodpecker's kid phone. Mm-hmm. And it's still reaction there, with COVID, I think when the park was limiting capacity, there's only so much you can disperse everybody throughout the park, between Harry Potter and all that. Mm-hmm. Barney was still getting a decent crowd, not the numbers they were getting before COVID.
Yeah.
Before they closed down. So it made sense for temporary. It's temporary. Mm-hmm. They don't, because I was talking to some friends of mine that work at Universal, and they don't have a definite date yet. They're hoping for the holidays. If not, 2021. They should be back. As long as we don't go towards another shut down anything like that. I think what the goal right now is 2020. Hopefully Christmas, like end of November, December, at least 2021, because the response is still there. People love it. People go crazy when they see them on the stage and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that's all I can say.
Especially like people who have like special needs that love Barney so much.
You know, I volunteer at a place called Give Kids the World here in Florida, or Kissimmee, Florida, right out of Orlando. And once a month, they and Barney, Baby Bop, BJ, and Mr. and Mrs. Peekaboo will come to Give Kids the World, and Give Kids the World hosts Make a Wish Kids, where they will come down to Florida, and they have Barney and them do meet and greet, and people just go nuts when they see Barney and stuff like that.
What
It's
like
powerful.
special needs?
Hmm?
What does Barney mean to like the special needs
What
people?
do I think? I think it's just somebody. I think it's not just special needs. I think to everybody, just the unconditional love that it brings. I think that's what the biggest thing. I think people just feel loved and safe with Barney and stuff like that, and they resonate with BJ. They may resonate with Baby Bob and BJ having the siblings that they love each other. They might not get along.
Right, especially on the TV series.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I don't know exactly what it means to. Like, I never would think what it means to people. I'm always curious about what it means to people, because some people are just so like resonated with it and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And it's really when you being at Give Kids the World and seeing when Barney people get to see Barney, people are just so excited. It's not even just kids; it's adults,
Yeah.
millennials. It's people that are maybe like in their late early 30s, late 20s. I'm 28. Around my age stuff, they're just so excited. They grew up on Barney.
Right.
That was their rock star in a sense. Like, so
Now, I
yeah,
actually watched your interview with like Carrie Stinson last week.
yeah. That was people ask me what is my favorite video I did on my channel. I said that is number one. It wasn't even the fact that it was like Barney was like my childhood hero growing up. Barney was my childhood hero growing up and stuff like that. That was like my first official interview. I had like 8 pages of notes. I went through all these things I wanted, and then I like cut it down. It was like the most grueling process, but the end result was so fantastic.
Yeah, I looked at it so much. It was really good. You did a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. I tried to, besides thinking about what he talks about in Purple Tales and Purple Roads, what he talks about in other interviews. I wanted to kind of go in different directions, stuff like talking about how what's it like doing the Macy's parade, what's it like doing certain other things. So very proud of that one. And people, I get it all the time that people are like they love it. So
Now, like before, you talked about like give kids the world. How did you
mhm.
like to get into that?
Some friends of mine told me about this. I heard about the place and my schedule and stuff like that, and I had a chance to do it. And then I switched jobs, so now I was able to go volunteer there. And being a part of something being a small part of something so big is the coolest thing in the world. When you're just whether it's doing the entertainment side of it, which I do. They have a movie theater there where they play movies every night and just serving popcorn. They have ice cream thing. They have different things. Just being there and the families are so excited. This could be their last vacation together, and you're a small part of that.
Mhm.
Can't top it.
I understand that feeling because like I did once like some volunteering with like because like I did some birthday parties as Barney.
Hmm.
And the amazing how the crowd feels when Barney's like here and how the interaction people get when they see Barney. It's just like
Yeah, like it just being you see it, and it's just crazy. Like you're talking about when with the Dana Park,
Mhm,
the video I did with the last show, and Barney appears, people lost their minds.
mhm.
It was crazy, and it wasn't just kids; it was adults. That show, if you watch that video, was mostly people in their 20s. It's that guy. Like, he's there in front of you, and you see some people that are like, "Oh, I'm going to the show," and you hear it. "Oh, I'm going to the show, and my kids want to go there." And then the parents just have the time of their lives.
And
So
the final show, I noticed like like the dinos like gave so much energy.
Oh yeah, all day, man. All those shows, like especially in those last few, because you have to look at it like this. I think what the mindset was, I haven't talked to the dinos and stuff like that. But what I do know is, with the word temporary closure, you always have to be cautious. So you have to go out, always take the chance of going out with a bang at the last finale.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's the last one. It's gonna come back. The demand's still there, the love's still there, especially if they're making this movie, like they're supposed to be making this movie. Like I remember reading about late last year. If they're making this movie, there's gonna be a demand. There's gonna be the resurgence.
right.
And that's where I think it'll be there. Will the show maybe be updated? I don't know, but we'll see. I
Yeah.
think it's perfect how it is.
Speaking of the movie, how did you react when you found out?
Oh, I was excited. I think anything. Well, first off, I always thought that, especially with the past years of hatred and negativity, needed. It's very needed. That character was needed to be brought back in some form, whether it was a TV show, whether it was a movie, whether it was a stage show tour or something, or television special, something that people can just feel that happiness with. And not just kids, like parents can just feel like something you can watch as a family and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm hoping that it still goes through. I know probably with COVID, it probably got pushed back and he released 10 ideas like every other movie production got pushed back and all that stuff. I think it'll still happen. So we'll see. But it's very exciting to hear.
Yeah, and when I found out that Barney was making a movie, I was like surprised, like because 5 years ago they announced the reboot of the television series.
Mhm.
Nothing happened, but with this movie, I know like Barney's coming back.
Yeah, I think a movie is easier to do in a sense than a television show
Mhm.
because how long would they just do like one season? With how many seasons? But a movie, it's upfront. They do it once, and then that could be it, or it could be more. We don't know.
I think when I think there's like one way like Barney came back is like Carrie explained, like he went back into the costume like last year.
Yes. For we talked about it. Oh,
The Jerry Franklin retirement
yes,
gala
the retirement thing. Yeah.
last year. Like we found it out. Like most of Barney fans found it on day one, like when the performance was happening.
hmm
Everyone was so happy,
Yeah.
and the reaction I've like seen like in like from people's posts who were at that event, there was
hmm
like no negatives or anything.
How can you be? And it's mind blowing to me that people can be negative about something that brings people happiness. And I think that's something that's sad. I think nowadays with people, they want to find something negative about things. When
Mhm.
it's like you don't have to like it.
Right.
Like you don't have to like it, but kids like it.
Mhm.
So why does it matter?
Yeah, and especially like how can you hate something that loves everything?
Yeah,
One.
love. I said at the end of my interview, I said, "What is the one word to describe your experience with Barney?" I said it to Carrie. And he said, "Love."
Mhm. How can you hate that purple dye?
No, I love you. You love me. Hello. But like I said, people want to find something negative. They want to, you know, if it's not cool, what do you want me to tell you?
And what does Barney like mean to you?
Positivity, unconditional love. Honestly, that's something that just feels bringing back to childhood, just safe and warmth and happiness. And as like, when I did the, because like I got older and stuff like that, so like I always had respect for it, but I never like sat there and watched the episodes. But preparing for the interview, I watched episodes. And like the songs came back, and I was like, these songs are just so catchy now. Like you think about it, like it's so catchy. And you see the message. As a kid, you don't see the message, but as an adult, you can see like there's a message right here with this.
Yeah, especially when you see when you go to a Barney concert, you'll definitely can tell the message that they're giving.
Yeah. Like at the attraction, imagine a place. Who doesn't want to imagine, like, especially during these times, Like, who wants to imagine go sitting on a beach right now, or just being able to you just imagine just go give your family a hug and stuff like that during these times. Like, imagination.
Yeah.
But people still want to hate it. It doesn't make sense. Like, he's basically talking about things that we all want to do. Like, we imagine we go on a beach or go on vacation or just hop in an airplane, just travel to Japan or Australia. We want to imagine these, especially these hard times. We want to imagine that things will get better. We want to hope and pray that things get better. That's what it is.
Yeah. Do you think like Barney could come back?
In the movie form, obviously, yes, I think so. In a TV show, maybe if it's done right, in a sense of not on television. I think television, in a sense, is kind of gone. The
Right.
idea of putting it back on like a PBS and things like that is gone. Um,
Streaming service or something.
yes, it would be something like I don't want to say Netflix or Hulu, but something along those lines where it has to be a streaming service because that's where do you, I think the most consumption of television of watching is on streaming.
Yeah.
Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, all those things. So I
Right.
think it have to be something on that, but it could come back in that form, but not on television. Like I think Sesame Street's on HBO Max, I think now, or HBO or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is I get it because, but when I didn't know about this till recently. I looked it up. The numbers went up on HBO actually for Sesame Street compared to they were on PBS. They were still drawing good numbers, so it's all about changing with the times. The format could work. Um, it's just a matter of if it's done not on television.
Right.
So I think a movie will work.
Especially like I heard like when I was like reading like the article of like the movie when they everyone's like saying
Mhm.
like everyone thinks that Barn should be a horror movie. I don't think so.
Right.
No.
What's the point? You don't make they didn't make Dora a horror movie. You don't see them doing like any of the other movies as horror movies. No, they don't have to worry about it. Could it be an animated movie? Yeah, and it could still work.
It could work.
That could work in a sense. If it's the music, the message, that could work. They could change it from live action because obviously production would be a lot easier,
Mhm.
but it wouldn't have the same essence as live action, the
Right.
athleticism, the heart, and all that.
Mhm.
So, but as a horror movie, what's the point doing that? Like, that's basically just saying, like, forget about it. Like,
But I think what the plot is like they're trying possibly that they're trying to do like a Christopher Robin plot is like have you seen Christopher Robin?
oh, I love it. That's one of my favorite Disney movies.
Yes. And what they did was like you were like reconnecting like you were a kid, you were playing with Barney, then
Hmm.
you forgot about him, then he came back somehow and tried to bring him back kind of
I
way.
could see that working, but it wouldn't make sense. Like, because how could you forget about a big purple dinosaur who
Just
was there for you?
way taller than you.
Yeah, like, how could you forget? Like, I can get like you're forgetting about Winnie the Pooh. No offense, love Winnie the Pooh. He's my boy, but like a little tall little bear about yay big. Like compared to how could you forget? So that wouldn't make. Could it work again? Who knows? As long as it's done with heart and they kind of bring some people in a sense of not even talking about actors or voice actors, creatively, kind of bringing back have that essence, it could work. Which where I think people hate on the other movie. What's it called? The first Barney movie. What's it called?
Adventure.
Thank you. I literally just do a complete. I could. It's like I could picture the cover with the egg. But I was like, what is the name of the movie? Where do you think that? I think that where that lost was. They didn't really have a Barney esque to it. It did, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It was very. It was very like all over the place. Like
Yeah. Like there was like an original script about it was gonna be all like Barney kind of way.
mhm.
Like the movie was gonna be distributed by Warner Brothers, but then something happened. So they went to Poly.
Yeah, yeah. That was. I recently just watched that movie. It was on television. And I was like, wow, this is playing on television. And I don't think I've ever seen this. Like, I've never seen when those came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this movie's not that bad, but like, yeah, it's definitely missing a little sugar and spice over here.
At least they sung "I Love You."
Yeah, that's true. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that in Imagination Island, didn't they?
No, no, they didn't.
They didn't, right? I don't
No,
remember. I remember. Just Imagine. I always love that song.
it's a good song.
It's really so good.
Speaking of songs, do you have a favorite song?
Yeah, that one, Just Imagine, is just pretty great. Or actually, Imagine a Place is from the attraction they did. I think they did that in some episodes. But Imagine a Place or Just Imagine, or Everyone is Special. Those are my jams.
The Universal Imagine a Place is the best one.
Oh yeah, especially because they dropped the leaves. Have you've seen the show? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they drop the leaves, and it's really well done. The show in general, because like at one some hot time I've been there before, and I just sat there. I just kind of looked at more like the production, like how they did it, like and I was like, wow, this show is just so well done
Mhm.
for a show that was done in '95. I remember I went there in '96. We went down to Universal and saw the show. Great, right?
Mhm.
Then they had like Barney walking around the stage, giving high fives and hugs and stuff.
That's how he.
Genuinely mortified.
Mhm.
Mortified is actually not even the word to describe how I felt about this. Oh, it was brutal. I was terrified. I would not go near him and stuff like that.
Oh, you were scared.
Oh, terrified. But now it's like, then I was like, when he would get hugged, give him a big hug and stuff like that. It was like nothing.
It's probably because like how intimidated he is because how tall.
Yeah, I was 4 or 5, give or take. 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, that little dinosaur. Yeah, my grandma had to hold me and stuff. I would not go near him. Like I wouldn't even like get like he had his hand out to give a high five. I would not even do that. I was that like terrified. This giant purple hand is like right there in front of you. It's like, whoa, now I'm good.
Yeah, because like you're watching a TV screen that's this big,
Yeah.
but this
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing how tall he is. I've seen him before. Man, he's huge.
Mm, yeah. He doesn't even look that tall in a sense when he's on the stage because the stage is high. When he's like and down to the ground, like the person is like, "Whoa, dude, you're really tall." Hey.
And how do you feel that like Barney, like the attraction like turned 25 like this year?
Oh, that's great. Um, it again something I think Carrie said in the interview. It shows that there's still something there.
Popular.
Universal also is a nostalgia park, basically in a sense. The Universal Studios, for the most part, is a nostalgia park. Some things, but like again, that lasted a lot of stuff. So the fact that it's still there and it's second or third longest running attraction, I think, if I remember correctly,
I
it
think
was
so.
in the top 5 current running, still longest running attractions
And
behind ET and I think the Universal Horror Makeup Show.
a lot of like attractions left, and Barney's still going and running.
Yeah, it's still going, and I am shocked that they never redid it, like in the sense of the voicing and stuff. Bob West is still.
He's still a good
I,
voice. Yeah,
hmm?
Bob is still a good voice, like the best voice.
Oh yeah, definitely. I met Bob last July or August in Tampa at a Comic Con,
Oh, you went
and
to?
he was like, "I still can't believe they haven't changed my voice yet."
It's amazing. Like he can still do the voice after.
Yeah, after Purple Tails, yeah, he can still do it. I have a can't one of the not cameo, a video thing he did at the Comic Con,
Yeah,
and he did in the voice, and I was like, he's still doing the voice. It's nuts.
yeah, it's amazing. I think we might see Bob on this podcast real soon.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. That'd be really great to for you to have him on here and talk to him. He's really just a great guy.
Yeah, I've seen like his like interviews. It's amazing, like how he can like make jokes right in the spot.
Hmm. Yeah, that'd be really cool and stuff like that to have him on here. and listen to him just tell his stories and all that stuff.
Were you in like when you're like talking to like Barney people? Were you like nervous when you're talking to them?
For in a sense of like for the interview and stuff like that, or that
Yeah.
for meeting Bob West, I was not nervous at all. Like, but the interview I was because that was my first interview, so it was more not about talking to him because I spoke to him through email and all that stuff, but just doing the interview and making sure like I don't like I'm keeping up with my notes and the time and all that stuff. Like, so that was more. It was more nervous about the interview, actual just doing the constructing an interview or performing an interview, not the conversation with him. It was pretty. It was just straight. I was just going and like I kind of just for me when I did the interview was I kind of listened to the points where he would might lead off on something, then I could just connect it with something I have here. So like he would talk about something involving Radio City.
Mhm.
Okay, well, hey, let's talk about that. Let's connect, like connect the dots.
Right. I love Radio City, like the video. They did like a
Yep,
production
that
on that.
shows. Yeah, I watched that recently, and because I forgot that he was in the Mop and Bucket, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, this video is so. This show is so great.
Carrie's the best way how to make Carrie's first video appearance is in a costume with a mop and bucket.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's pretty crazy and stuff like that. But yeah, I but it would go back to the question. Yeah, it's for most part for me. It wasn't. It was more constructing the interview and just feeding off where he might leave off on a sentence. Okay, kind of knowing in my head, like I had a rough idea, like the final notes I want to make sure I cover, like the actual stuff I want to cover, and then like I had like a list of like extra stuff, like oh, we have time, I'll throw this in, and like oh yeah, let's be end off. Let's say about Radio City. Oh hey, let's talk about Radio City and stuff like that. So, but nervous, like talking to him,
Yeah.
it was just if it was just like a meet and greet at like a Comic Con, it would have been like I would same way I would have felt fine. But it's in the interview, it's like okay, you want to construct it right, you want to do it right, and
Mhm.
keep it look feeling a good flow.
Do you have like your favorite moment at Universal?
I have a picture. I don't have it on me. I should forgot to get it on my phone. I was working and stuff, and it's a picture I have. It's Barney, Big Bob, BJ, and I. We're walking towards the attraction, and we're all holding like that, holding hands like that.
Um,
And it's such a great. It's one of my favorite photos and stuff like that.
that must be a great photo.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's so great. And I was the only one because it actually started to rain when we took the photo. It started to rain, so they were going in, and I was the only one that got meet and greet because they came out for their before the show meet and greet and stuff like that. And I just happened to be, I got over there and I got the photo, and then all of a sudden it started drizzling. They had to go inside.
Mm.
The only one that day.
Like does it rain all the time at Universal?
Does it? Does it rain?
Or like
Summertime, it rains pretty much every day between 2 and 4.
oh, that's
Rain
not,
for a little bit, and then it's not. No, it's not. It's not bad. You know, there's some days there's storms and stuff, but really not.
mhm,
So for the most part, if you go to Universal right now, you'll be able to see the dinos and all that stuff
mhm.
morning and after up till 4:30.
I can't thank you enough to coming on this podcast.
Oh man, no, it's great. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure having you. We should have you back on more to talk more
Oh,
about
yeah,
like,
it's awesome. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to come back on. I'm wishing you very much success, and I can't wait to see where this goes and stuff like that. Can't wait to see who you get to get for the Barney people.
thank you very much. And thank you everyone for coming to Tee-riffic Talks. I'm your host, Bultum. Thank you very much. I love you all. See you next week.